Thank you very much. Speaker at the back.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ahmad Shahidov. I represent Azerbaijan Institute for Democracy and Human Rights. And before I begin my remarks, I would like to briefly comment on the statement made by my Armenian colleague earlier. It is important to underline that human rights issues should never be turned into a tool for political debates or manipulation. The individuals of Armenian origin whose trials are currently ongoing in Baku are not being prosecuted for their ethnicity or identity, but for committing serious war crimes against Azerbaijani civilians during the conflict and for financing separatism and terrorism. As a human rights defender myself, I have personally attended these court hearings and witnessed the proceedings. The confessions made in that court by Arayik Harutyunyan, Ruben Vardanyan, and others have once again confirmed their direct involvement in war crimes against Azerbaijan, and I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely invite you as well to attend these trials so that you can see the facts and hear the truth for yourself. Regarding today's topic, it's very important for all of us because when human rights are violated, peace and stability are also in danger. And in many parts of the world, human rights defenders work in difficult and dangerous conditions. But one of the most alarming situations right now is happening today in South Asia, particularly in Jammu and Kashmir, under India's control. For years, India has tried to silence the voices of the Kashmiri people, and peaceful protests are banned, journalists and human rights defenders are detained, and entire communities are cut off from the world. And international organizations like Amnesty International, United Nations bodies have repeatedly reported arbitrary arrests, torture, media blackouts, and several restrictions on freedom of expression in the region. And unfortunately, India continues its aggressive policies and ignores these international calls. Even worse, India often uses counterterrorism laws to silence ordinary people, students and defenders, labeling them as threats for simply demanding their basic rights. This is a clear violation of international human rights standards and the United Nations Charter, which recognize the right of all peoples to self-determination. At the same time, India's threats to block Pakistan's water supply under the Indus Waters Treaty is not just a political issue, it is a crime against humanity. Cutting off water to over 240 million people would create a humanitarian disaster and set a dangerous example of violation international agreements. Another serious issue we must mention is the growing nuclear threat in South Asia. Both India and Pakistan possess nuclear weapons, and the constant tension, irresponsible statements and aggressive actions, especially from India's leadership, increase the risk of a catastrophic conflict. And if military escalation happens in this region, it will not stay a local problem. Such a crisis will directly threaten European security and global peace. And that is why the international community, including the OSCE states, must take this risk seriously and work for de-escalation and peaceful solutions. In conclusion, I would like to respectfully ask our respected panelists to share their views on the alarming human rights situation in Jammu and Kashmir, because given the OSCE's principled commitment to human rights and international law, I believe it is important for this platform to reflect on such issues and support those who are working in the most difficult circumstances to defend the rights and dignity of others. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your questions and recommendations. Okay, gentlemen on this side, please.